Welcome. Welcome to Mindset Monday. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm excited about this week. I'm excited about where we're going. Extremely excited about the opportunity that's in front of all of us and the growth that we've seen so far, and knowing that there's so much more that's going to come. Last week, we talked about starting to build out a trading plan, right? And we've talked about a few different things when it comes to how you speak, how you think. And so what I want to do today is I want to give you a couple questions to ask yourself as you're starting to build out that trading plan. And then going to talk a little bit about what it takes, right? What it takes. So I have a couple questions that I want you guys to write down. First question is, what are your expectations from trading? What do you expect to get out of this? What do you expect to get out of this experience? What do you expect to get from this knowledge? What do you expect to get from this industry? All right, next question. When does trading fulfill you? If you haven't started trading yet, just kind of think about it, right? When do you think you'll feel fulfilled in this trading space, on this trading journey? What things do you think will happen or have to happen for you to feel fulfilled? This is feeding you. This is empowering you. This is lifting you up. This is filling your bucket, right? When does trading fulfill you? Next question. When does trading distress you? Right? When you're going through this process, when you're going through this learning process, when you're looking at entering those demo trades or live trades, if you're at that point, right? What points of this process cause you stress, right? We talked about this some last week, but I want you to jot these down and really think through this process of your thoughts and your emotions and your experience, okay? So when does trading distress you, okay? So those are the three questions I want you guys to think about this week. And just write down your thoughts as you're building out your trading plan, right? This is part of it. These are things that I want to identify. These are things that I want to know, I want to understand about myself. So as I'm going through this experience, I'll be able to identify these moments in time and be able to address them quickly or quicker than I did yesterday, okay? So I know some of you, maybe not, you guys are here like, why is this dude talking about this crazy stuff, man? Why are we going through this process when we're here to learn trading? Why am I talking about your emotions? Why am I talking about your personal life in some cases, my personal life in some cases? Why are we talking about this? What my goal is I want you guys to understand that in order to do things that are great, you have to do things that are different, right? Our best thinking got us to where we are today, right? Which is phenomenal. It's got us here, right? And our reality is what it is at this moment. But our current reality is going to keep us from experiencing different things, experiencing more, experiencing different, right? So we have to think outside of our current box, our current situation, because where we are is based on all the things that have come in the past. And that reality ultimately is going to create and tell us what we can't do. So what we have to get in the mind frame of, and what I'm trying to push you guys outside of your box to realize that you have to do things that are different. You have to do things that are challenging. You have to do things that are extreme. But in order to do that, you have to step away from your current reality, your current state of mind, your current mind frame, and create more, create different, right? So you have to be willing to challenge yourself and push yourself and do these difficult things, right? You guys are here at 6:30 in the morning. Some of you might be in other parts of the country, right? It might be earlier for you, right? But doing those difficult things is going to allow you to take greater steps forward, Okay. In the space, it's greatness never goes on sale. Greatness never goes on sale. And I'm not saying I'm great. I'm not saying Benny's great. I'm not saying Casey's great, but we've learned from great people. And we've learned over time that specific things have to happen in order for us to see success. And not just in trading, right? If you look at any industry, you'll see people have had to do specific things. We've gotten to a point as a society where we believe that we have choices. We have choices to do whatever it is that we want to do, and we can get there however we want to get there. But the fact of the matter is, you don't have choices, right? You might have some option on how you do specific skills, but you have to develop specific things. You have to develop a specific discipline to get to where you want to go, to get to that greatness that you see for yourself and that you've identified based on your experience and what you've defined as greatness, right? An interview with Vince Carter, professional basketball player. He was talking to a coach, and he asked the coach, how many college athletes believe that they're going to make it to the NFL, or they want to make it to the NFL? And the coach told him 7 out of 10. Right. And they were having this conversation the day after a particular school had 4 athletes get arrested for different things in completely different spaces in the country. 4 athletes got arrested. And he said 7 out of 10 believe that they're going to make it to the NFL. And Vince Carter said, these kids believe that they can do whatever they want to do and still play professional football. And I said, yeah. And Vince Carter went on to tell him that's not true. You don't have choices if you want to do great things. You don't. You have to be different. You have to think different. You have to experience different. And he went on to tell him, like, Vince Carter at this time, he was 41, 42 years old, playing for the Memphis Grizzlies. And Vince Carter said, I can still dunk, but if I dunk the basketball, there's going to be repercussions. I'm not going to be able to get back on defense. Right? My man's going to score. I'm going to need to come out of the game because I need to recover now. The next day, my knees are going to hurt. I'm not going to be able to practice the next day, so I'm going to need a day off. I'm not going to be able to play as many minutes in the next game. And I'm not going to be able to have the long career that I desire to have. So I have to make specific decisions that allow me to have this longevity in this space. So if somebody believes that they can do whatever it is that they want to do and still be great, they're missing the boat. Missing the boat. So in the space of trading, and bring it back to you, in this space, there are specific things that we have to make sure that we do in order to have longevity and consistently be profitable, consistently be successful in this space. In life also, we have to do specific things in order to be able to take the steps forward necessary to achieve whatever it is that we've defined as success. In trading, what we have to do in order to be consistently profitable in the space, number one, is we have to learn how to control our thoughts and our emotions. Number one, 80% of the game is in between your ears. 80% of the game. So we have to learn how to control this before we can do all of these other things consistently well. You're going to be in spaces where you're going to be stressed. You're going to be in spaces where you're going to be uncomfortable and you're trying to figure out something in your personal life and you're trying to identify these charts to implement a trade. How do you handle that? Right? The next thing is you have to understand risk management. Risk management is paramount. It's paramount. Because yes, we're in this thing to make money, but we also need to preserve our capital. We need to preserve our capital. So in order to preserve that capital, you have to understand risk management, right? And the next thing is you have to develop a strategy that is simple to implement and is consistent and doesn't change. That's what we're helping you to develop now through this process. But as traders, we don't have choices. Those are things that we have to do in order to be consistently profitable in the space. We have to. You don't have a choice in that. You have to develop that discipline, which is part of managing this. You have to follow your rules. You have to. If you don't, you're going to lose a lot of money. Some of us already have, and we've identified, yep. Just jumping in and out don't work. So we don't have choices, man. We don't have choices. We have to develop the discipline. We have to manage our mind. We have to manage our emotions. We have to manage our thoughts. We have to understand risk management, and we have to have a consistent strategy, rules that we follow on a daily basis that will help us achieve our goals. Greatness doesn't go on sale ever. Greatness requires work, requires a lot of work, a lot of discipline, a lot of effort, a lot of consistency. So remember that as things start to get difficult, because we're going to start to speed up a little bit as we start going through these weeks, right? And if you don't understand something, you're going to have to hop back and rewatch one of those live sessions from the last 3 weeks, right? That's part of the discipline piece. Hop back, rewatch that video, mark up a chart, post that in the community, ask a question. You got to take these steps in order to truly grasp these concepts, grasp this understanding, grasp this methodology, so that you can take that step forward. Discipline is required. You have to put in the work in order to be successful in this thing. We can teach you everything, but if you don't take action to actually implement those things, that's where the problem will lie. So as things start to get difficult, remember, let me hunker down for this period of time so that I can really grasp this, understand this, and start to master these skill sets to make this progress so that I can take these steps forward. Understanding that it's going to be progress. There's no end to this game. There's no end to it. So that's Mindset Monday for today. Next week, we're going to talk about finite and infinite gains. And I'm going to break some things down to you guys that I think is really interesting. And I think this message that I've been giving to you guys for a while about this infinite game that we're playing, I'll help that make more sense, right? But those 3 questions, think about them. Write them down. Go through that thought process this week. And remember, as we start to move up, as we start to move faster, things are going to start to get a little bit more challenging. Be disciplined. Be disciplined. Follow the steps, follow the rules, go back and rewatch the video so that you understand the concepts, so that you truly have the sound foundation of the methodology. And as you start to see us implementing these concepts, right, each step in this process, it'll start to make more sense. But you got to commit yourself, because things are going to get a little difficult, and that's okay. In those difficult moments is where you grow. All right. That's Mindset Monday.